My name's Molly, and I'm the founder of the Body Happy organisation. We're a non-profit, and we work in schools and communities to build cultures of body respect. Now, I'm not a clinician, I don't work in treatment, and we're not an eating disorders charity. We're an eating disorders adjacent organisation. We work upstream in the places where children are growing up, forming their sense of self, learning what their bodies are for, and whether they belong in the world. And I'm here today because prevention matters. And because I know that education has to be part of this conversation. I was in a primary school recently when a 5-year-old, a child who couldn't yet read, who couldn't yet tie her own shoelaces, said that she didn't like her body, that she was fat, that fat was bad. Now, this is not unusual. Evidence shows children as young as 3 years old display anti-fat bias. And a report out earlier this month from a National Education Union survey of 10,000 teachers found that nearly half of primary school teachers in England are seeing children with signs of eating disorders in their schools. Children don't arrive in the world feeling ashamed of their bodies. That shame is learned, and some of it is being learned in school. So let's talk about those environments. Because when we talk about prevention, we often talk about abstractions, systems, upstream, culture change, all these kind of buzzwords. Those things are real and they matter, but I want to get really specific and talk about the detail. So I'm talking about dinner halls where children are told to clear their plates regardless of hunger, where Year 6 children are routinely deployed to police the eating of younger children, where food is sorted into rigid categories, good and bad, allowed and forbidden, binary rules are developmentally inappropriate and teach children that eating is a moral act. I'm talking about healthy eating education that is in practice diet culture with a curriculum wrapper, where the message is about having the right kind of body rather than a healthy relationship with food. I'm talking about anti-bullying policies that understand discrimination in many forms, but haven't yet caught up with weight stigma as a form of body-based oppression. It is one, and it needs naming. I'm talking about the National Child Measurement Programme, where children are weighed in school, in reception and in Year 6, and letters go home about their bodies with almost no consideration of the harm this can cause. None of these things are inevitable. None of them are necessary. And every single one of them can plant a seed, worsen a symptom, or make recovery harder. Because whatever the pathway, whatever the individual experience, the environment around a child either increases risk or offers protection. And an environment that is genuinely inclusive, that is thoughtful about food, about bodies, about the diversity of children's needs and experiences, is better for every child. Schools are not the enemy. Teachers are not the enemy. Most educators go into this work because they care deeply about children. But they are operating inside systems and cultures that were never designed with any of this in mind. And when we don't give them the tools, the language, or the permission to do things differently, we leave children exposed. That's what our work is about, not one-off assemblies. I'm not interested in telling young people to feel positive about themselves without changing any of the conditions around them that are reinforcing the message that they aren't enough exactly as they are. Whole school, systemic culture change, staff who know what to say and what not to say, peoples who are given agency and voice, families who are part of the conversation. I know I've just got a bit cross, but I want to end on hope, because hope in this context is not wishful thinking, it's evidence of what's already happening. So I'm from Devon, and down in Plymouth, we're working on a community programme. And we're working in a community where food insecurity is very real for many of the people who live there. And children's relationships with food are already shaped by scarcity and inequality. And we're bringing people together in that community across generations, from toddlers to pensioners, because we know that body respect isn't built in a clinic or a classroom in isolation. It's built in communities, and it requires all of us. In schools, we're seeing what happens when educators are given the tools and the confidence to approach this as an inclusion and safeguarding issue, not just a health add-on, not another initiative, but something that sits at the heart of what a good school is for and is aligned with all the priorities they're already working towards. When that shift happens, young people flourish in ways that go far beyond what any single intervention could achieve. I want to quickly tell you about Sam. So Sam is someone that I worked with as a peer advocate when they were in year 10 last year. And when I first met them, they told me, I will never speak in public, miss. Don't ever ask me to speak in public. On Monday, they're going to be speaking in there at a round table, an education round table at Westminster, hosted by the all-party parliamentary group on eating disorders. Thank you so much, Hope Virgo and the Dump the Scales team, for allowing us to support this work. So despite vowing just a year ago to never speak in public, Sam will instead be loudly sharing the lessons they learned, leading youth-led change in their school. That in itself tells you something. That's eating disorders and education in the same room, young people literally given a seat at the table. That's what cross-sector collaboration looks like. That's what prevention looks like. This has never been a niche issue. Prevention is the foundation of learning, of belonging, of health. It's not an add-on. It's not a nice to have. We know what works. We know what needs to change. Now let's go and make it impossible to ignore.